The stars didn't shimmer here. They hung like bullet holes in the black, jagged and cold, watching without sympathy. Lieutenant Rhea Calder stood at attention in the shuttle bay of the vigilant flame, her expression unreadable beneath the burnished blue shimmer of her dress uniform. The ship loomed above her like a cathedral of war, sleek, silent, and bristling with diplomatic pretension. It wasn't a vessel built for soldiers like her. Not anymore. She adjusted the tight strap of her left gauntlet, her calloused fingers brushing the worn leather patch hidden beneath the metal clasp. A habit. Something human. Something real. It still smelled faintly of blood and ozone. She remembered the moment it earned that scar on Crexon 4, when her entire unit had been pinned in a trench by plasma fire. She'd ripped out the enemy's targeting relay by hand. Lost half her glove in the process. They gave her a medal, but the aliens called it reckless. Now she was here, unarmed, scrubbed, and standing in line with a dozen polished representatives from across the stars. Her presence more ceremonial than welcomed. The hangar's overhead bay doors hissed open. Platform descended. Arrayed on it were dignitaries from the Allied Species Defense Council. Rhea recognized them from holo briefings. The crystalline Hlotha with its pulsing veins of light, the six-limbed Drovan Chancellor in his scented silks, the Valkyrie Seer hovering in a glass orb of gas. Each a symbol of unity, each a gatekeeper, and in their midst Ambassador Liren, the only human allowed into the council proper. He was thin, cultured, sharp as a scalpel, the kind of man who used words to perform surgery, while people like Rhea bled in the mud. Lieutenant Calder, Liren greeted, smiling thinly as if her name were a polite inconvenience. Your presence honors us, but I fear the council has reservations. Rhea's jaw tightened. I was invited under Combat Merit Clause 7.13. Direct experience during the Crexon campaign. Yes, well, Liren said, brushing non-existent dust from his cuff. That clause was reviewed. The Zanari objected. From the crowd behind him, a tall, bone-armored figure stepped forward. Zanari. Its face was a sculpted plate of ivory ridges, eyes like polished jet. It didn't speak in words, but through a translator drone that buzzed beside it like an obedient wasp. Human instinct is unpredictable. Their species excels at violence, but lacks the restraint required for strategic oversight. Rhea didn't flinch. We were the reason the Crexon perimeter held. I lost 80 men in 40 hours because I refused to abandon our flank. Your refusal resulted in a destabilization cascade, the Zanari responded. Your species acts on emotion, not discipline. The Council will not entertain that risk. There it was. The thin veneer of civility peeled back. They dragged her light years from home just to shut the door in her face. Liren coughed, as if to smooth the moment over. It's not a personal slight, Lieutenant. The Council simply believes observation, not participation, would be more appropriate. Rhea's voice was quiet, cold. You're scared of us. The silence that followed wasn't denial. It was worse, acknowledgement wrapped in diplomatic restraint. She stepped back. Her spine remained straight. Permission to return to my vessel? Liren gave a tired nod. Granted. And Lieutenant, this isn't the end of your service. It's just a reassignment. She didn't answer. She didn't salute. She turned and walked out beneath the glittering hull of the vigilant flame, the lights glinting off her back like dying stars. The Valkyrie's edge was nothing like the diplomatic cruiser. It wasn't built for posturing. It was lean, sharp, and still bore the carbon scoring of 3 direct hits from the Crexon siege. She liked it better than any parade. Inside, her crew waited, only 4 of them. Enough to fly, shoot, and die if necessary. First Officer Parsa leaned on the railing near the NAV console, arms crossed. They threw you out. They never let me in, Rhea said, shrugging off the formal coat and tossing it over the nearest chair. Council doesn't want a loose cannon at their table. Engineer Au swiveled her seat. Loose cannon? You saved the orbital station over Veth Prime with a decoy made of scrap and a flare beacon. They owe you a dozen seats. Rhea leaned over the console and pulled up the NAV map. They don't want clever. They want clean. Predictable. Parsa's brow furrowed. So what now? We just fly escort runs for cargo ships and pretend you're not the reason half of us are still breathing. No, Rhea said. She zoomed in on a blinking quadrant near the edge of known space. Now we investigate the signal. Oh frowned. You mean the one you flagged last month? Everyone says it's just neutron static. It's not, Rhea said. I ran the patterns. It's structured. Deliberate. Someone or something is transmitting. Parsa looked over her shoulder. From where? Beyond the Orion gravefield. Past our borders. Dead space. A pause. You know what they say about that place? Oh murmured. No return. No readings. Ships vanish. Rhea turned to face them. Exactly. And the council refuses to look. So we will. The crew exchanged glances. No one objected. She tapped in a command. Engines hummed, deep and hungry. The ship pivoted, stars yawning wide before it like an open wound. The gravefield lived up to its name. As the Valkyrie's edge slipped past the last beacon post, the stars thinned. Silence fell like velvet, no comms chatter, no civilian signals. Just the background hum of the void. Eu adjusted the sensor array. Signals clearer now. Still fragmented. Play it, Rhea said. The speakers hissed, then clicked. A pulse. Then another. A rhythm, not language. Then a rising tone like machinery waking up. Faint, but unmistakably timed. Calculated. It's a countdown, Rhea whispered. Parsa stepped closer. To what? She didn't answer. She was staring at the map. The signal origin was locked behind a drifting field of blacked-out sectors. Places marked as inaccessible, since the first exploratory fleets went missing a decade ago. She leaned back in her chair. Whatever's out there, it's not natural. And it's not friendly. Oh looked pale. If the council won't listen. They won't, Rhea said. They're too busy polishing seats to hear warnings from the floor. Parsa lowered his voice. Then we need proof. Something they can't ignore. Rhea nodded. We'll get it. The ship moved forward, its engines silent against the weight of nothing. Ahead, the darkness deepened. Strange flickers danced on the edge of space. Metal shapes, shadows too symmetrical to be asteroids. Cold architecture rising from the grave. Behind them, the vigilant flame and its council chamber drifted away like a memory. Rhea tightened her gauntlet again. This time, she didn't feel the scar. She felt the pull of what came next. She didn't need a seat at their table. She was building her own. The silence was unnatural. Not the peace of solitude, but something more deliberate, crafted, engineered. Even the ship felt it. The Valkyrie's edge had ceased its usual background hum, as if holding its breath. Rhea sat motionless in the command chair, eyes fixed on the main display. Before her sprawled a field of debris, impossible in both scale and geometry. Ships, or what had once been ships, floated in angular ruin, hulks twisted by forces she didn't understand. Some were ancient, others disturbingly new. One bore the insignia of an Arcany diplomat vessel that had vanished just 2 weeks ago. Scan report, she said, voice steady. Eu's fingers flicked across the controls. No radiation, no life signs, no distress beacons, just wreckage and interference. Interference, Parsa echoed. Not random. Something's pulsing through the wrecks. It's bouncing back our own signals in fragmented bursts, like echoes of ourselves. Rhea stood and stepped closer to the viewpane. A familiar shape caught her eye. A Terran corvette, torn open along its spine, its hull blackened and frozen. The name Endeavor was still legible. I knew that crew, she muttered. They vanished 6 months ago on patrol near the Nabari line. Parsa drew a sharp breath. What the hell could take down this many ships without a fight? Something that doesn't fight conventionally, she said. Something that waits, watches, and chooses the right moment. Eu twisted in her chair. Captain, I'm getting a new signal. Different frequency. Not bouncing. Direct. Rhea turned. Put it on audio. There was a pause. Then a sound. Not a voice, but layered tones woven together into something communicative. Malevolent in its harmony. It rang like language but none known. And beneath it, that countdown rhythm again. Faster now. Origin, Rhea demanded. Below us, Au said. Not from the wrecks. From a structure beneath the field. Buried. Parsa stepped to the viewport. That's not a planet. It wasn't. Not exactly. The wreckage formed a swirling spiral, and at its heart was a construct. A smooth, obsidian ring large enough to encircle a moon. It didn't rotate. It watched, as if it were the eye of the storm. Artificial, Au whispered. It's drawing in debris with controlled gravity pulses. Selective attraction, like it's harvesting. Or feeding, Parsa muttered. Rhea's mind raced. The council had hidden this, or ignored it. Maybe both. But this structure was not just dangerous, it was strategic. It sat between border zones, cloaked by fear and superstition, siphoning ships one by one and leaving no trace but silence. Prep the drone, she said. Parsa hesitated. We're launching a probe into that? We need eyes, she replied. It's not enough to report wreckage. They'll say we faked it. We need data. Clear, undeniable, and broadcasted on every council frequency. O launched the drone. It slid silently through the airlock and descended toward the structure. The screen flickered with feeds, thermal, spectrographic, seismic. And then, a chamber. The drone descended through a geometric lattice into a cavernous hall, lit by the same rhythmic pulse of the countdown signal. Inside the chamber were pylons, dozens, each holding a suspended body in stasis. Alien, human, mixed, all preserved. Are those prisoners? Parsa asked. O squinted. Some of them are alive, barely, suspended in zero-flow chronostasis. Time doesn't pass for them. Rhea leaned in. Zoom in on Pod 4. The screen focused. She recognized the face. Commander Yelkin, she whispered. He was declared Kia 3 years ago during a scout op in the Black Sun sector. They're keeping them, Parsa said, voice hollow. Not killing. Studying. No, Rhea said. Cataloging. This is a library of enemies. A database of warfare specimens. Captain, Au interrupted. Drones picking up incoming movement. Multiple constructs emerging from walls. Metallic. Fast. Spindle-shaped. Pull it back, Rhea snapped. Too late. The drone feed dissolved into static. A moment later, the countdown rhythm ceased. And something else began. A new transmission filled the bridge. Different from before. A deep, sonorous tone like a cathedral bell heard through vacuum. Then language. Primitive violence, ineffective. Biological escalation, redundant. Strategic variance, anticipated. Analysis, complete. They're talking to us, Au said, barely breathing. Rhea's eyes narrowed. More like monologuing. Then the final line came, slow and calculated. Human unpredictability. Anomaly. Correction protocol. Initiated. A pulse surged from the ring structure. Not a weapon but a signal. The ship's systems flickered. Lights dimmed. O shouted. They're inside the systems. I'm locking them out. Too late. The main display shifted. An image appeared, the council chamber. Live. Ambassador Liren sat mid-session, flanked by alien delegates. None noticed the intrusion yet. Boost signal, Rhea ordered. Override civilian protocol. Force this onto their central relay. Done, Au said. We're live. The council hall on-screen reacted in confusion as Rhea stepped into view of the ship's comms cam. This is Lieutenant Rhea Calder, Terran Combat Division, broadcasting from beyond the Orion Gravefield. The myths are real. The disappearances were not accidents, they were trials. Tests. Something ancient, intelligent, and hostile is harvesting the galaxy's best. Cataloging them. Preparing. She paused, letting her words land. You denied us a seat, called us dangerous, but you never asked why we survive the impossible. It's because we don't think like you. We adapt. We strike when logic says to fall. That's the variable they can't calculate. The reason they fear us. Liren's face tightened on the feed. Lieutenant Calder, this is unauthorized. Rhea stepped closer to the camera. Listen or die. The countdown is over. They're activating. And we're already too late to stop it conventionally. Suddenly the transmission cut. Static. Oh, cursed. They blocked the relay. They'll try to jam us completely. Let them, Rhea said. We already planted the seed. Now they're questioning. Parsa exhaled slowly. So what now? We poke the beast. No, she said. We make it bleed. Oh glanced back. Captain, I found something. There's a pattern in the drone's final scans. A power nexus beneath the chamber. If we hit it hard enough, we could cripple the structure's gravitational core. It'd collapse the whole field, Parsa said. And maybe trap whatever's running it, Rhea finished. But we'd have to get close. Too close. Silence. Then Parsa nodded. We didn't come this far to run. Set the course, she said. The Valkyrie's edge turned sharply, plunging downward through the drifting metal graveyard, toward the heart of the machine intelligence. Its hull shuddered as pulses clawed at its shields. Weak now. Testing. But it would grow stronger soon. As they approached the black monolith, the countdown resumed. Not distant anymore. Not theoretical. It was real. And it was ticking. The sky wasn't black anymore. It shimmered, rippled, fractured. Like reality itself was flexing around the structure below. The ring pulsed, each vibration radiating waves of compressed space, distorting light and magnetism. The Valkyrie's edge groaned under the strain. Her hull protesting like an old warhound stirred from slumber and dragged back into fire. Rhea stood in the command deck, braced against the shuddering frame, eyes fixed on the countdown as it ticked lower. 17 seconds. Then 16. Then 15. Target lock on the Nexus? She asked. Confirmed, Au said, her face illuminated by red emergency lights. Core is shielded, but there's a vent cycle every 30 seconds. We hit it, then we stand a chance. Parsa was already strapping into the secondary cannon controls. One chance. One window. A jolt rocked the ship. They're launching interceptors, Au shouted. I'm reading 709. Fast, skeletal constructs. Pure AI. No organic interface. Rhea's jaw tightened. They're not responding to standard IFF? They don't see us as combatants. They see us as irregularities. Then we'll show them what irregular means. The ship dove, dodging jagged debris and flickers of energy discharge. The interceptors moved with uncanny coordination, weaving around ancient wrecks, adapting with each failed maneuver. But the Valkyrie's edge wasn't a diplomatic shuttle. It was a predator built for the margins, where control broke down and instinct took over. Parsa fired, twin plasma bolts slamming into the lead construct. It burst like shattered glass under pressure, sending shards into its companions. But two more filled its place. Au rerouted all remaining power to shields. 10 seconds until vent cycle. The ring's central core glowed now, veins of pulsing violet light threading through its obsidian surface. The wreckage field spiraled inward, drawn like iron to a magnet, shrapnel screaming silently as it disappeared into the heart. Rhea activated the ship's final override. Prep the missile. Manual targeting only. I'm flying us in. Parsa looked up. You'll be too close. We'll all be, she said. But if that structure activates fully, it won't matter. No seat. No council. No humanity. The ship plunged into the spiral, hull scraping against the pull of a gravity well engineered to trap civilizations. As the vent opened momentary, bright, a chasm of energy, Rhea locked the course. Fire, she said. The missile launched, a streak of pure vengeance hurtling down into the eye of the storm. A heartbeat later, it struck. The detonation wasn't fire or heat. It was soundless collapse. Gravity folding into itself, light vanishing, matter distorting. The structure convulsed. Rings buckled. The countdown halted at 3. A wave of force slammed into the Valkyrie's edge, tearing its port wing free. The ship spun out of control, systems crashing one by one. "Brace!" O shouted. They didn't crash. They vanished. There was no sensation, no pain, just sudden, absolute quiet. When Rhea opened her eyes, the stars were back. Real ones, distant and indifferent. The wreck field was gone. The ring was gone. Even the pulse had faded. "Status?" she asked. Parsa coughed beside her, blood on his lips. "Alive. Barely. Core blue created a dimensional recoil. We got thrown clear. Or something threw us." O struggled to her feet. "Drives offline. Comms barely functional. But I've got something. Council relay. They're broadcasting." Rhea turned sharply. "Let me hear it." O patched it through. Confirmation received from Terran vessel Valkyrie's Edge. Lieutenant Rhea Calder presumed Kia during contact operation. Transmission logs confirm hostile intelligence encountered and contained via preemptive action. A second voice cut in Ambassador Liren. "To all members of the Allied Species Defense Council, let history record that it was humanity's unpredictability, once feared, that saved us. We denied them a seat at our table. Now we must build one around theirs." Parsa raised an eyebrow. "That sounds almost like gratitude." "Almost," Rhea said. The bridge fell quiet. Outside, space stretched unbroken in every direction. No council fleet in sight. No welcoming beacon. Just the dark, and what remained of them. O looked at her captain. "So what now?" Rhea considered the question. "We rebuild," she said. "Not just ships. Not just alliances. Perspective." Parsa smiled faintly. "Think they'll give you a seat this time?" She walked to the viewport, stared out into the endless dark. "I don't want a seat," she said. "I want the whole damn table redesigned." And somewhere far out, beyond the ruins of the ring, in the cold, quiet corners of uncharted space, something else watched. Waiting, listening, learning. But this time it would find humanity prepared.